Welcome to my new series, a content creator journey from something like a smartphone to a Sony ZV-E10 II. Where I'm going to go through all of the trials and tribulations that I face, going from something as simple as a point and shoot to the immaculate thing that is this. And do me a favour, if you are not interested in bushcraft, mushroom foraging and all things outdoors, like outdoor survival, primitive crafts and other cool things like making self bows, don't actually subscribe to my channel because you will wreck my algorithm. This is because if you don't subscribe to me to learn about how to do the ZV-E10 II, then I produce other content later down the line about bushcraft and all that kind of stuff. You will actually watch the videos and then YouTube will think that you don't like me. So basically, I'm sure that you all can relate to when you're using your phone, trying to film yourself with the back cameras, you can't actually see yourself to get proper framing and stuff like that. And the front camera at the front basically is just not very good. So if I'm doing things like this and I can see myself, or I've got the phone or a tripod over there and it's far away so that I can see myself, then I can't crop in and it goes all digital fuzzy. That's why one of the reasons I decided to upgrade to a proper camera, because it has the lens at the front and a nice little flip out screen. The question you should ask yourself is when and if you should upgrade to a proper camera. Now, if you have got a full flagship phone and it's got all the bells and whistles, then you can create plenty of very good content just using your phone. I just got to the point in my content creation career where I could afford to upgrade to one of these, so I decided to make the decision to actually get one. But there's an interesting story behind that as well. Another benefit of having a proper camera over a smartphone is you've got a lot more control over your image. You can control a lot more features to do with the lenses, like aperture is one of the main things. Like camera phones have got fixed apertures and that's how much light is let through the lens. So basically, you just get juicier footage and nicer pictures and that crispy B-roll. So the story of how I actually got to getting this camera is twofold. One of them is very interesting, but first, basically, like I said before, I've got to about 90,000 followers on TikTok, and TikTok paid me some actual pretty decent money, so I thought I'm going to invest the money that TikTok's paid me back into content creation. I got myself some nice Rode microphones, which hopefully on this one, the audio is actually sorted, because before I filmed a full video and it was only coming out of one channel. That's going to be another video that I'm going to do, is optimizing the audio between the Sony ZV-E10 II and the Rode Wireless GoPro 2. GoPro 2? Go 2. But back onto the story. So TikTok paid me some money and I was really in two minds whether just to upgrade and invest the money into making my phone take better photos or whether I should get one of these. So upgrading the audio was a no-brainer because I actually lost my other microphone, which basically meant that I had to buy another one anyway, so I just upgraded to the Rode Wireless Go 2. But the camera was another thing. Like I say, TikTok paid me some money and there was the Sony ZV-10 I that was about 600 quid, or there was the Sony ZV-10 with all the bells and whistles for a bag of sand. But I was still in two minds now. This is the story of how I actually got this. I'm driving to Leeds because this camera is brand spanking new. It's only just come out and the only place that had it was Jessett's in Leeds. So I'm driving to Leeds and my sat-nav basically was just being an idiot and it was taking me round and round and round Leeds, and I'm driving thinking, should I buy it, should I not, should I buy it, should I not? And I basically switched lanes and writ off another car. So I thought to myself, I am not going to crash my van and then leave Leeds empty-handed, and then voila. The universe told me to get the camera is the only silver lining that I could take from that situation. So I went into Jessop's, didn't even ask him any questions. I says, just give me the camera. And I'm loving it. How much better is actually having one of these better than having one of these? Well, from what I've seen so far, it's a lot better. I mean, the difference is night and day. But the only issue is if you're using one of these to film and put it on TikTok, TikTok will actually downgrade your footage to 1080p and just basically wreck it anyway. So this basically is going to be a YouTube camera, because YouTube allows you to upload in 4K. There's obviously the better front-facing camera because it's got a big lens looking at me rather than the tiny lens on your phone. It's also got the flip-out screen, so I can use the big lens and film myself, compose shots and do all the other things that I need to do. Also, because the little screen is articulating, you can actually film with the Sony ZV-E10 like this and then rotate the screen so you can get really nice low shots and basically still see what you're filming. The same goes for high up. I can film with the Sony ZV-E10 up here and rotate the screen down. So basically you can get better shots with it. But with a smartphone, I can just throw it in a river and it'll be fine, but the ZV-E10 I don't think will like that. Also, when you buy yourself like a proper camera like this, you've got the ability to upgrade the lens, which also then opens up a whole new world in photography and videography. With telephoto lenses, like 9,000mm zooms, so you can see Mars and shit, animals, you know, you get that really, really nice crispy focal point in the middle with the big background blur. That's what this does. And another thing that I didn't think I'd like, which I kind of do like, is using one of these basically forces you to keep the content on the camera and the content on the phone separate. Because I don't know about you, but the amount of times that I've gone to go edit a video and I'm scrolling through my fucking gallery and there's hundreds of videos of people's kids from WhatsApp and random stuff, pictures of receipts and stuff like that. Whereas all the footage that I need for this video is neatly composed on this memory card, and then I'll basically go on, slot it in the computer, and all the files are just there. You drag them across in the timeline and it's just there. But this also brings another issue, which is content flow. Now, content flow for me is very important because you have got a smartphone, you film, and then I actually then smash it in the editor, see what it looks like, see if I need to take any more shots, and then film the next bit, smash it in the editor, see what I need to do, see if I need more. You get what I mean. Whereas this, it's not quite as easy. Actually, what I actually have here is two phones. So this has got all of the things that I need to talk about on this video, and this is actually filming, letting me see what I'm filming and controlling it. That's another good thing about the Sony line, is you've actually got like remote access, so I can basically zoom in and zoom out. I can adjust the white balance. I can do everything on this. It's brilliant. But that's another thing actually. Don't actually think of buying one of these cameras as actually replacing your smartphone. It's not. It's more of an extension, because now basically I use the camera and I still use a smartphone. And if you've got a flagship smartphone, then you essentially have an A and B camera. Like, I'm going to use this smartphone to get all my B-roll of the camera because the camera can't film itself. But I actually do use my smartphone just as much. If anything, I actually edit on my smartphone still because my computer's not actually powerful enough. It's got 32 gigabytes of RAM, an Intel i7 processor, and it still can't edit the fucking footage out of this thing. But the smartphone can, in CapCut Pro. Now, this is what this series is going to be about. Like I said before, it's going to be documenting my journey of learning how to use this thing to its absolute best ability. And I'm going to try and make Peter McKinnon moist with this, because this thing's got some capabilities that I'm not currently capable of utilizing fully. Like, I can't even record in the full file format of this thing because the SD card isn't fast enough. It needs a V90. But as I'm sure there's going to be lots of steep learning curves and things that I don't know that will absolutely optimize this so I become a professional YouTuber rather than a TikToker. The only major downside that I can see at the moment is going to be adjusting my workflow to be working from the camera onto my phone, or eventually when I upgrade my laptop enough or get another computer completely to be able to use Premiere Pro that I pay for to edit the footage out of this thing, then that's going to speed up the workflow. But it's just another step. And then one of the other drawbacks is, obviously, other than spending £1,000 on the camera, then there's all the other lenses that you can use that are also very expensive, like the prime lenses. Sony's prime lenses are ridiculous, actually more than the camera, some of them. Obviously there's associated costs with this, but the thing is, if content creation is paying you money and then I just continuously reinvest that money back into content creation, then it's basically free. So I would suggest using your phone for content creation until that happens, because then it's not free. So far I'm actually really enjoying the camera, because I don't know about you guys, but I get really, really moist over crispy B-roll, and absolutely, the photos out of this thing are amazing. The video out of this thing can be shockingly bad if you've got the settings set up wrong, or just amazing if the lighting and all of your settings on it are all right. But I'm still going to be playing around with that, and I'm basically going to be documenting it as I go through. If you like bushcraft and outdoor survival, foraging, mushrooms and plant medicine, follow it, subscribe by all means. But if you don't like that kind of stuff, then don't subscribe. I know it's very unusual for a YouTuber to say, but it will wreck my algorithm. Also, if you do like the video and watch it all the way through. If you got to here, you've watched it all the way through anyway. Maybe just watch it again or rewind it a few times just to, you know, tickle the algorithm's fancy. And depending on what time you're watching this video, the next video about the audio will be in this little box up here.